a princess, and a dragon. It sounds like the start of a fairy tale. And for Mark Hillman, the breeder of the Bay Fillies Galactic Princess and Last Dragoness, it has been. Like many fairy tales, there were rocky moments at the beginning. Last Dragoness was an orphan foal and was raised by a surrogate mare named Rose.
It was a challenge. So her mom colicked and passed away about 2.5 weeks after she was born. And for the first week, we tried everything to get her to drink milk supplement, eat milk pellets. She would eat grain and hay, but she wouldn't eat anything if I put any sort of milk supplement in it. A little mare named Rose, it worked out great. Actually, this was the biggest foal then that Sea Dragoness, the mother, had ever had, and I attribute a lot of that to the little quarter horse nurse mare she had, because she was a milk cow.
Nessie, as she's known in trainer Ty Garrett's barn, won her debut over eventual Colorado bred horse of the year Way Out West on Father's Day 2016.
And it's the filly getting the better of the colt. It's Last Dragoness who's starting to inch away, and Last Dragoness and Vince Guerra draw off for the win over Way Out West.
And then the Colorado Thoroughbred Breeders Association Lassie 1 month later.
Last Dragoness roaring on the scene has passed Starry Skies, Emma's the Lemon, Snicker Joe in third and fourth, but it's Last Dragoness and Alfredo Triana Jr. putting their best foot forward to win the CTBA Lassie Stakes.
But then Last Dragoness missed a year because of an injury.
She came up with a kind of a scary partial fracture of one of the carpal bones in her knee. Fortunately, it didn't completely fracture. If it had, she wouldn't be racing. I said, let's just take our time and make sure everything goes right, because this is for the long haul with her. She has been flawless.
Galactic Princess rocketed away in the 2016 Arapahoe Park debutante in her debut season.
Russellvish really now propels Galactic Princess to the front, and Galactic Princess has left them in her dust. Galactic Princess goes on to the win.
Outside her home state of Colorado, Galactic Princess, who is also part owned by Garrett's aunt Eleanor Martin, won the Arizona Juvenile Fillies Stakes at Turf Paradise in Phoenix on New Year's Eve 2016. Another Galactic Princess, actress Carrie Fisher, had passed away just a few days earlier. Announcer Robert Fox described,
"It's gotta be fate! This one's for Carrie Fisher! Galactic Princess wins the Arizona Juvenile Fillies Stakes."
She took a big step when she won that Arizona Juvenile Fillies on New Year's Eve down at Phoenix. And then she got to where a couple races where the track conditions weren't to her liking, and she started playing a few games. She got to doing this thing where she would come out, break well, and then drop to the back of the pack. She did that in both of the two races here this year, which I don't want her necessarily to be out, at the front where it's way too fast and way too hot. But instead of that, she would let everybody pass her, which isn't the ideal form.
having charted separate paths when they were 2-year-olds, the stories of the princess and the dragon came together when they faced off in the Encantadora Stakes for 3-year-old fillies over 6 furlongs on July 9, 2017 at Arapahoe Park. Hillman and Garrett couldn't have scripted it better. Last Dragoness and jockey Alfredo Triana Jr. made a move to the lead coming to the top of the stretch, and Galactic Princess and jockey Scott Stevens were right behind to set up the stable's fairy tale finish.
Gates open, the Encantadora Stakes is underway. The fast pace being set by Lucky Doll and Beau Me Fast. It's Lucky Doll and Mike Bluark a half length in front of Beau Me Fast. Last Dragoness roaring onto the scene on the outside, moves up smoothly to engage Lucky Doll for the lead now past the quarter pole, and Galactic Princess trying to go with them as they turn for home in the Encantadora Stakes. And the Ty Garrett trained stakes winners are 1-2. They'll battle it out. It's Last Dragoness on the inside, Galactic Princess the outside, Galactic Princess and Last Dragoness inside the final 100 yards. And it's Galactic Princess who will be crowned the winner of the Encantadora Stakes. Galactic Princess over Last Dragoness. And then back in third place, a long way back, was Topsana, fourth to Lucky Doll in 1 minute 11.11 seconds.
The great thing was, as I'm watching them, with them tracking each other, they were just almost in the ideal position. And then when they came to the top of the stretch, which is where I kind of lose sight of them, and you called them as being first and second, then I could just take a deep breath and sit back and watch and see, which one was the best on this particular day.
Horse racing is an individual sport, but in this case, you had a team going. So when the trainer, Ty Garrett, or yourself are mapping things out, do you sometimes map it out with both horses in mind? And then when you give instructions to the jockeys, is it with both horses in mind, or do you just say, look, do what you got to do?
I think you want to put each horse in the best position to win. Like today, they kind of each needed a different recipe, but it worked out that in sort of running with each other, it just happened to work out very well for them, especially since they broke out of the gate together.
And then 2 weeks later, the Princess and the Dragon rode another chapter in the Colorado Thoroughbred Breeders Association Oaks. That race was for 3-year-old fillies bred in Colorado, and a step up in distance from 6 furlongs around 1 turn to 1 mile 70 yards around 2 turns.
Gates open, the CTBA Breeders' Oaks is underway. A great beginning for Last Dragoness. My Meadow now goes to the front, and Galactic Princess part of the early pace picture. Emma's Dilemma is wide into the opening turn. Diamonds in My Chain races in mid-division, followed by Brown's Playmate, Cinnamon Win, Miss Wild Rush, and Bell's Promise. And then Snicker Joe settling down second last, and Safari Sana last of the CTBA Breeders' Oaks field as they sort themselves out and head to the backstretch. My Meadow and Vince Guerra, the long shot, is in front by a half a length from Last Dragoness, and Alfredo Triana stalking in second, with stablemate Galactic Princess from the Ty Garrett barn running in third. And then comes Emma's Dilemma in the purple and yellow silks trap, 3 horses wide, with Diamonds in My Chain in between that pair. First 5 covered by just 3 lengths, with a break back to Brown's Playmate covering up Cinnamon Win, and then Miss Wild Rush, Snicker Joe, Bell's Promise, and Safari Sana as they move into the far turn. And now Galactic Princess making the move for Scott Stevens, and her stablemate Last Dragoness is right with her. Deja Vu, they were 1-2 at this point in the Encantadora Stakes, and they're 1-2 in the CTBA Breeders' Oaks, with Emma's Dilemma trying to keep up from third place, and then Brown's Playmate, and the rest have a lot of work to do. Well, Ty Garrett and Mark Hillman must be smiling as they turn for home, as they're 1-2 with Galactic Princess, without being asked, coming to the final furlong with an almost double-digit lead over Last Dragoness and Brown's Playmate. But this is a procession for Galactic Princess, the queen of the 3-year-old fillies in Colorado at Arapahoe Park. Galactic Princess, most impressive in the CTBA Breeders' Oaks. Scott Stevens looks over the shoulder a long way back to Last Dragoness in second place, a 1-2 for the Garrett and Hillman team. And then came Brown's Playmate and Emma's Dilemma. The time for 1 mile 70 yards, 1 minute 44.44 seconds. Welcome to barn 30 in the stable area at Arapahoe Park, the barn of trainer Ty Garrett and his star 3-year-old filly Galactic Princess, and the team behind the filly, breeder and owner Mark Hillman, also owner Eleanor Martin, celebrating a victory in the CTBA Breeders' Oaks by a dominant 15.5 lengths. And for you, Mark, not just celebrating the win, but celebrating the top 2, as you also bred and own Last Dragoness, and Ty trains Last Dragoness. So you got to do it in the Encantadora Stakes when the horses were 1-2 around the turn coming to the top of the stretch, when they're 1-2 in the CTBA Breeders' Oaks. How is it as an owner to be just enjoying that experience?
I guess that's when you can finally start to breathe during the race. Yeah. I don't know much else more to say about it than that. I knew the way she was sitting, she was going to be awfully tough, having the experience at the distance when they were coming around. And the other one tried hard, but Princess just had more gas in the tank.
She's pretty laid back. She just wants to please, do everything that you ask her to do. She doesn't tend to overexert herself, doesn't tend to get overexcited. She's just really nice to be around, real classy, and not a lot of wasted effort.
She seems to take after your pretty mellow style as well, and you've done a great job, especially with bringing horses back from layoffs this season. Obviously, Galactic Princess is getting the accolades now, but you must be also happy with last Dragoness's performance to be second in both of those stakes races.
Oh yeah, she ran phenomenal in both starts. So I'm very happy with that.
Eleanor, you're doing a great job as a reporter. What do you think are the strengths of Galactic Princess? You've seen her win long, you've seen her win short. What do you like most about her?
She wins.
Doesn't matter, just put her in a race and she wins. You've also had some good 3-year-old fillies with Kalinda Dawn, who beat the boys in the Colorado Derby. So now that you've had success with both of those horses, how would they stack up against each other?
I think Princess is probably nicer.
She has the name of Princess, but she's really becoming a queen and becoming a horse that we can all be proud of at Arapahoe Park, and hopefully we'll get to see her for many years to come.